Welcome to Wolf Stir Fry, my name's Chris, and today I'm going to be showing you how I paint the Leagues of Votann. Okay, so here we have our Zenithal primed League of Votann leader. What we're going to do is basically we're going to start off using Flash Git's yellow on the cloth, on the clothing, jumpsuit, whatever you want to call it. Top tip, by the way, using these for just a little bit of a palette right now. Yeah, just empty pill stuff, you know what I mean? Pretty cool, seems to work quite nicely, keeps it fairly fresh. So we're going to do two thin coats of, always two thin coats, of our Flash Git's yellow. Here we go, just in there. And you want to take your time with this, really. Generally, because we've Zenithal highlighted it, what I used was Chaos Black and Army Painter White, just doing a kind of a bit of a dry brush over the top, heavy dry brush, that sort of thing, to get this kind of Zenithal feel. So we can go over here, and we're just going to do all the cloth stuff. And he's got a lot of accessories here, but don't worry about that, because we'll usually be filling that in with kind of a metallic or a darker, deeper brown for the leather, that sort of thing. And that's going to cover up quite nicely, so don't worry about sort of going over things with the Flash Git's yellow. So we're going to do two thin coats of this. Don't worry about it being super duper bright, because we're going to hit it with our Agrax Earthshade once we've done all this kind of stuff. This is going to be the League of the is it Kronos Hegemony, I think it's called. So yeah, I just like the kind of the black and gold, black and yellow sort of scheme with this one. So kind of we're going to do that, and it's going to be a bit of a sort of kill team. We're going to make it, so should be pretty cool. Right, so I'm going to go through, keep doing this once it's done on the second coat. Then we're going to move on to something else. Ready.
What's the big thing that train's in?
Okay, what we've got here now is, that's all the yellow done. It's still quite bright, we're going to dull it down later. And we've got Black Templar here. Now Black Templar, we're going to go over all the armour bits. So apart from this kind of, what would you call it, that light in the centre of the chest, the kind of Tony Stark-esque type of thing, because we want that to be nice and bright. So when we use our, I think we're going to use blue. It's really going to pop and look quite nice. So this just goes over the armour though, and you'll notice that basically where we've done our Zenithal, the lighter tones really show through quite nicely as a kind of edge highlight, which is lovely. So it looks quite sort of weathered, which is quite cool. So this is kind of thinned down a little bit. There you go, just so you can see that. So you can give it a few more coats as well. So you can go a little bit thicker on that, but we want this kind of light underneath to shine through. There we go, so I'm going to go through all the armour. Well, not all the armour, because some bits we're going to have a little bit of gold trim, because this guy's the leader, so he's going to have some pretty cool stuff on. Alrighty, so I'm going to get that done, and then we'll pop back in a bit. Okay, with that done, what I'm doing now is in the centre of each of these panels, just kind of cutting in from the outside, just doing some Black Legion, just so we've got a bit of differentiation in the black layers. So as you can see, you've got kind of like a nice gradient now from the Black Templar to Black Legion, giving us this nice kind of flat metallic feel. Probably the wrong word for that, probably not flat metallic to be honest, but you know what I mean. So you feel like you've got armour plates all sort of scaled up. And that's just the Black Templar over the Zenithal with Black Legion over the top there. Looks like someone's just started a jet washer outside. Fantastic. Right, we'll get back to this in a second. Now what we're going to do is coat all the leather areas. What I'm using is contrast snakebite leather. So essentially that's going to be all the kind of pouches, the holster here. I'm just going to go over that. Nice layer. And as you can see, this is where the zenithal really comes into its own. Really got that nice dark and light contrast going on there, which is really, really nice. Makes it very, very easy to get good results when you do that sort of thing. And here we can just sloppily go over these pouches. I don't worry about getting anything on this carabiner here because I'm going to cover that in a metallic, and metallic pretty much goes over most things, so we're all good with that. There we are. A little patch under there as well. So I'm just going to get all that done. Take my time with this belt buckle. This all kind of sinks in nicely. There we go. I find snakebite leather is actually quite runny, so you've got to be quite careful with a lot of the application. And I'm also going to use it for this kind of combat glove type of thing with the doodad on the outside. There we go, go around there. So I don't really want to go over the whites of the screen there, because that's going to be a nice little glow effect in a minute. Righty. Okay, so I'm going to clean that up and see where we get to. Okay, now we're back. We're going to do a little bit of the metallics and a little bit of silver on the belt buckles and stuff like that. And I want to get this kind of crest. I think it's crest. That sort of stuff above the head. This is basically, I'm just going to use Retributor armor to start off with. There we go. Just going over that. I'm going to bring it to this area here. Whoop. We're going to focus. There we are. That bit there. And what I'm going to do is these little knuckle areas here, they're going to get a spot of gold as well. I'm going to have to clean that up. That was a little bit runny. But hopefully make these knuckles pop out a little bit, which is quite cool. And then I'm going to do a few other bits as well. So this kind of back cylinder, that's going to be a little bit of Retributor armor on there as well. Just to get a nice bit of symmetry going on. Now the cable, going to the power armor, I think we're going to do that with a little bit of blue. That matches the chest in a bit. There you go. So I'm going to finish that up. Then get on with the blue bits. Also, you notice I've made a little bit of a mistake there, so I can always tidy that up again with the Black Legion. No worries there. Which is kind of cool. Oh, I want to have a bit of symmetry here, and I get the socket down here as well. So you've got not gold, sorry, bronze clip there, just so it makes it look a little bit more, yeah, cool. Okay, so staying with the shading option, we are going to now go over all our yellow with our Grot's Earthshade, which is going to muddy it down a little bit, giving it kind of a worn-in depth to it, which is cool. There we go, so you get that all on there. There we go, it doesn't matter if it goes on too thick because you can always shift it around. Just don't make sure it just doesn't pull, and then otherwise you'll get a bit of a shiny area. What I also did was I went over with a Retributor arm on these kind of valves on the pants, and I kind of put that in there so it kind of gives it a little bit more of a definition. There we go. This sort of ties everything together. And it's okay if you get it on the snakebite leather areas as well. That's just going to basically make them look nice and kind of worn in, which is cool. Give them a bit of a richness to the actual sort of leather. There you go. It's the fantastic thing about shades. They just make your painting look so much better. Right, so once you've done that, just go around and make sure there's nothing pooling. There we are. So you can just dab it up. Move it into the creases. There you go. All good. So we're going to let that dry. Then we're going to move on to our buttons and lights. Okay. So there we go. Now, what I'm going to do, just to get a little bit of sharpness on the armour, I'm just going to do a very, very slight kind of dry brush with this is Army Painter White, just a matte white basically. So it gives us a little bit, just a little bit of that. There we go. That gives a little bit of edge to the armour. And if we put too much on, like I have done in that armpit, then we can just get back over with our Black Legion. Right, but now what I'm going to do is going to have a little bit of blue on there. Here we go. So now after a little bit of a touch up with the Black Legion, I'm just going to go over the browns, or Retributor armor rather, with this is Reichland Flesh Shade. There you go. And that's basically going to give us a nice sort of bit of depth to the Retributor armor. Just something to bear in mind when you're doing your Stormcast Eternals, to be honest. It really does make them pop quite nicely. I'm just going all over that. There we go. So we can get a bit more depth in that. And all the bits that you've done in the Retributor armor you can go over with this as well. Here we go, that sort of stuff. Nice. There we go. Straight from the pot as well, which is probably not great from a brush. Cool. Right, moving on. So this Contrast Frostheart is my new favourite blue. I've got to say, it's brilliant for all kind of what you might call dials, or kind of like, you know, the flashing beeping lights kind of lot really. So what we're going to do is just here, there we go, just on there, just around the outside as well. Got that there, and that gives us a nice kind of lit up chest area. There we are. Lovely, I do like that. What I'm going to do is also put it on this tube here. So we've got kind of like the energy of the suit, power in the arm, something like that. Look at that, it's lovely blue, really nice. It's not so kind of fluorescent that it sort of can't be used for lots and lots of different things. I do like that, very cool. Righty, what I'm going to do now is put the head in there, and we'll see how we're looking then. Alrighty, here we go. Head's attached now. So what I'm doing at this moment is just going over the yellow that the Flash Kits yellow that we did, covered in Agraft Earthshade, with a little bit of Army Painter's Demonic Yellow, which is not too dissimilar, but just a little bit brighter. So it gives me kind of like a little bit more kind of, again, depth to the for the model. So just on these little bits around here, just so it comes up a little bit. Problem with a little bit too much Agraft Earthshade, it does dull down your initial textures. So you want to keep your kind of low lights and your creases, but you do want to make it pop quite nicely as well. So we go. Alrighty. So now what I'm going to do is get a nice bright silver, which I believe I've got Reinflang steel, and all these metallic bits, the gun, the little carabiners, belt buckle, stuff like that. We're going to give them a little bit of a highlight. So we'll get that out. Here we go, right. So let's try with it just across here, just on the cylinder there. Just give it a bit of a highlight across the top of the gun there. There we go. Get back in focus. Just underneath. Just so we get a bit more of that gun popping. Gun popping. Just there like that. Again with the cylinder. Want a little bit, got to be nice and careful with this belt buckle. There we go. Carabiner as well. Making that shine a little bit. There we go. He's looking pretty good now. Well, I think so. Let's face it, we all have our standards. So I'm going to give this guy a quick base, touch up a little bit, and then let's see what we're looking like. Okay guys, that's my take on the Leagues of Votann Kronos Hegemony paint scheme. Let me know what you think, please. Like in the comments, all that sort of stuff. So like in the comments, just like and subscribe, and give me some comments on what you think about the on the colour scheme. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you later. Bye bye.